Do you wish you could find beautiful Christmas decor at Dollar Tree prices? Well, in today's video, we'll take 10 Dollar Tree finds, the $1.25 ones, not the $3 or $5 items, and we'll transform them into unique and eye-catching Christmas decor. So if you're looking for some DIY ideas that are simple, stylish, and super affordable, let's get started.
I think these plastic stamp blocks are a newer Dollar Tree item. I hadn't seen them before. So I grabbed a couple, hoping I could turn them into Christmas ornaments. First, I used some goof off to remove the grid marks, and luckily they wiped off easily. To add some old Christmas card images, I measured the blocks and then printed out some vintage images in a slightly larger size. If you have issues with your printer ink running, let it completely dry and lightly spritz the image with hairspray before proceeding. I have an inkjet printer, but I rarely have this problem. Brush Mod Podge over the front of the image and then place the stamp block on top. Rub or roll over the back of the paper to remove any air bubbles and assure firm adhesion. Let the Mod Podge dry and then cut off any extra paper around the edges. Smooth the edges with some sandpaper or a sanding block. To add some additional embellishment, you can hot glue a chenille pipe cleaner around the edge. I used a Dollar Tree metallic gold pipe cleaner. To create a hanger, hot glue the two ends of a loop of thread or string to the back. You can cover the back paper with a pretty piece of scrapbook paper, or you can do like I did and brush the paper with Mod Podge or white glue and then sprinkle on some coordinating glitter. During the holidays, Dollar Tree has a wide array of glitter in stock. To help keep the glitter in place, spray the back of each ornament with a clear top coat or hairspray. I used the spray version of Glossy Mod Podge, but I poured it in a different spray bottle because the original one keeps getting clogged. For a similar idea, I also picked up 2 Dollar Tree acrylic sheets. Peel off the protective cover from both sides of the acrylic. You could print out an image to use, but this time I decided to use an IOD rub-on transfer of a Christmas tree. Using the plastic tool that comes with the transfers, it adhered perfectly to the acrylic. Then I cleaned the acrylic really well to make sure there were no fingerprints on the inside, and I placed the second sheet of acrylic over the top. To adhere the two sheets together, I applied a thin bead of Gorilla Glue clear gel along all 4 sides. I chose this glue because it dries crystal clear. I let the glue dry for about an hour, and then I drilled 2 small holes in the top corners, making sure that I went all the way through both sheets of acrylic. To create a hanger, I pushed the ends of a strip of ribbon through the holes and tied knots on the back. I also added an additional bow for embellishment.
I love crafting and doing DIY projects around the house, but I keep a pretty busy schedule running this YouTube channel all by myself. And so even though I try to eat healthy, it's hard to get all the nutrients my body needs every day. That's why I want to tell you about my go-to supplement, AG1.
With a single scoop of AG1, I know I'm getting 75 quality vitamins, minerals, and whole sourced ingredients like spinach, beetroot, and papaya. It's a simple one-step routine that helps me with my energy, digestion, and overall health, so I can focus on my DIY projects and bringing you a new video every week.
Right now, if you head to the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get a bottle of vitamins D3 plus K2 and 5 AG1 travel packs for free with your first subscription.
The shape of these Dollar Tree glass candlesticks reminded me of a Christmas tree, and I wondered if I could stack them to create an even taller tree shape. And then I realized when they were stacked, there was a little space where I could add something. So first, I added a small bottle brush tree. I removed the wood base and cut off some of the bottom so it would perfectly fit into the space. I hot glued a tiny bit of fake snow on the bottom and then hot glued the tree on top of that. For the next candlestick, I used a snowman ornament for a miniature tree, cutting off the hanging string and the metal hook from the top, and then hot gluing some snow below the snowman like I had done with the tree. To join the candlesticks together, you want to make sure that you use a clear adhesive that dries clear and that specifically mentions that it works on glass. I used Gorilla Glue Clear Gel, and it worked beautifully. In fact, I think this is my new favorite adhesive. I thought the bottom candlestick looked empty, so I added some faux snow to the inner lip line, and to keep it in place, I just hot glued a round piece of paper to that inner lip. The idea of repurposing Dollar Tree gift bags is not a new idea, but when I saw this bag with a Christmas street scene, I knew I had to use it. In fact, I'm going to use both sides. I cut out the lower portion of the front side of the bag, cutting around the houses with scissors and then using an X-Acto knife to cut around the two trees. I also purchased this house-shaped sign at Dollar Tree. It comes in a few colors, but I chose black. To attach the house cutout to the sign, I sprayed the back of the paper with some adhesive and adhered it along the bottom edge of the sign. Then I just cut off any extra paper around the edges. To create a snowy sky, you can use a white paint pen to just dab on dots to the top portion of the sign. You can stop there if you want, but I decided to hot glue a white chenille pipe cleaner around the edges. Then to create a hanger, I replaced the twine with a strip of white ribbon and tied on a miniature white snowflake ornament. I've had these little snowflakes for a while, so I'm not sure if they came from Dollar Tree, Walmart, or maybe Hobby Lobby. For the next project, I'm going to combine the back side of the gift bag with this Dollar Tree framed bank, which is really just a shadow box with a hole in the top. I applied Goof Off to the words on the plexiglass and then used a razor blade to easily scrape them off. Once again, I cut the houses from the bottom portion of the bag. But then I realized I needed a little bit of the snowy sky this time. So I just cut off a small strip from the top of the bag to use. You can just use glue stick to adhere the gift bag cutouts over the bank's cardboard insert. The back side of the bag will have a crease in it, but it will disappear when you smooth the paper onto the cardboard. Then just cut off any extra paper around the edges. Before inserting the cardboard back in place, hot glue any small Christmas embellishments that you want, such as a small bottle brush tree, to the inside of the frame. Then add a little fake snow. Now you can replace the cardboard and the back of the bank. To disguise the money slot, I just hot glued a velvet ribbon over the hole. My Dollar Tree still has a lot of Halloween decor on the shelves, including this plastic lantern. I liked that it had a built-in battery-operated light in the base. I used a good pair of crafting scissors to cut out the plastic ghost design on each side of the lantern. Then I used an X-Acto knife to cut off any ragged pieces. I wanted to spray it with some primer, so I taped around the faux candle flame and then took it outside and gave it a coat of Zinsser primer. I also used the primer on this Dollar Tree snowflake garland. I wanted to make the lantern look less like plastic, so when the primer was dry, I brushed on a coat of white chalk paint. Once the paint was dry, I began figuring out how to arrange the snowflakes to the sides of the lantern. I could attach 2 full snowflakes on opposite sides of the lantern, but I needed to cut down the 2 other snowflakes to fit into the remaining spots. I used a combination of hot glue and super glue gel to adhere the snowflakes to the lantern. However, I should have used the Gorilla Glue clear gel because I think it creates a much stronger bond. Before attaching the last snowflake, I decided to decorate the inside of the lantern. I wrapped the candle base with a couple of those greenery garland ties. Then I sprayed them with adhesive and sprinkled on some fake snow. I found a Christmas figurine in my thrift store stash that I liked, but I needed to break it into 3 separate pieces so I could hot glue the pieces around the candle flame. Resin figurines like this break apart pretty easily. I needed to add a thick layer of fake snow around the figurines to hide the broken bottom pieces. So I squeezed a good amount of white glue on top of the faux candle and then added in a couple handfuls of fake snow. Now I could add the final snowflake to the last side of the lantern. I know some people don't like glitter, and it is messy, but I think it makes everything look magical. So I sprayed the lantern and the snowflakes with adhesive and then covered them in iridescent glitter. I didn't like the plastic ring on the top of the lantern, so I replaced it with a strand of satin ribbon, adding on a small snowflake ornament. Once I turned on the light, I realized you could barely see the figurines on the inside. So I decided to cut out the center of the front snowflake. Then I needed to touch up the paint along the cut areas and, of course, add some more iridescent glitter. These Dollar Tree cardboard boxes make great containers for small gifts. Or you can turn the box into a gift. First, cut a strip of pretty scrapbook paper to cover the sides of the box. Spray the back of the paper with adhesive and then press it onto the box sides. I always cut mine a little larger than I need and then cut off the extra paper later. Better to be too large than too small. Repeat this process using a small strip of paper to cover the side of the lid. If you want, you can further decorate the side of the box with a vintage label or image. Just adhere it over the scrapbook paper with glue stick. To embellish the top of the lid, I like to start by creating a border with a pipe cleaner or some kind of Christmas trim, just hot gluing it around the top edge. You can add any number of items to decorate the top of your lid. I started with a Dollar Tree pink bottle brush tree. I cut off the wood base and some of the wire. Then I poked a hole through the lid and pushed the tree wire into the hole. For a secure hold, use a little hot glue on the underside and screw the wood base back onto the tree wire. I often thrift Ziploc bags full of Christmas ornaments at Goodwill to use in projects like this. You can't always see everything in the bag, but they are always such a good deal, like 25 or 50 cents per ornament. I hot glued one next to the pink tree. Add any other embellishments that you like. A few pearls or beads piled up like snowballs look really nice. Then brush Mod Podge or white glue over the lid and sprinkle on some iridescent glitter. These sparkly gold maple leaf clips are in Dollar Tree's autumn decor section, but I thought they would make pretty Christmas ornaments. You could just remove the clips and hang them as is to add a little sparkle to your tree, but I wanted to dress them up a bit. I cut up a few greenery stems and berries from an old candle ring and hot glued them in the center of the leaf. Then I glued a small velvet bow to the stem. To hang it, I ran a loop of heavy gold thread through a hole at the top of the leaf. If you have berries with some white styrofoam showing through, just touch up those spots with some red paint to make them look like new. I noticed my Dollar Tree had a lot of styrofoam-shaped trees in stock, so I bought a few, and I also picked up 3 rolls of twine in different colors. To attach the twine to the styrofoam, you can start at the top or bottom of the tree shape, hot gluing the twine around the edge, and then continuing to wrap the twine tightly around the styrofoam. Once you get going, you don't need to use much hot glue. I just dotted some on every so often, but you will need to use more hot glue when covering the top and bottom of each tree. You don't have to add anything to the bottom, but I like to hot glue the trees to a tree slice to add some height. I also cut a slice off the bottom of one of the styrofoam trees to create a shorter tree. And then for variety, I drilled a hole in the center of a wood slice, filled the hole with some wood glue, and then pushed in a skinny stick. To attach the tree, I pushed the opposite end of the stick into the bottom of the styrofoam and added a little hot glue to help hold it in place. I think the trees are cute as is, especially if you like a minimal look. But you could also dress them up with some embellishments, such as tiny pine cones or a strand of Dollar Tree pip berries. I see these rope orbs at Dollar Tree at all times of the year, but this one was left over from a summer collection. I'm going to decorate this orb in much the same way as the gold leaves. I created a little bundle of Christmas greenery taken from an old candle ring, and I twisted them together with a piece of florist wire. Then on the inside bottom of the orb, I wrapped the ends of the wire around the inner section of the orb arms. Then I used the wires that were already on a tiny faux bird to attach it near the top of the orb. I hot glued a couple small pine cones on the inside with the greenery. These are from that same candle ring, but they do sell these tiny pine cones at Dollar Tree. And finally, I sprayed the greenery with adhesive and sprinkled on some faux snow. To create a hanger, I just looped some twine at the top of the orb and slid on a few beads and then tied a knot at the top. For the most part, I prefer using thrifted faux flowers to Dollar Tree flowers, but there are some ways that you can make Dollar Tree flowers look high-end. First, use a pretty container or a vase, like this velvet box that I thrifted for just $1. Also, don't use the leaves that come on the floral stems. They're flimsy and cheap looking. Look how nice these pink poinsettias look once the leaves are cut off. Next, dress up the arrangement by adding some nicer greenery. I thought the pink highlights in these thrift store ivy leaves would coordinate nicely with the poinsettias. You just really have to hunt through the Dollar Tree florals because sometimes they do have nice quality plastic leaves like these pink glittery ones. Another way to dress up Dollar Tree flowers is to add beads, pearls, or glitter to the center of the flowers. I used some pink Dollar Tree pearls and then just sprayed them with adhesive and sprinkled on a little bit of iridescent glitter. As you've probably noticed, I'm loving velvet bows right now. So I removed the gold clasp on the box front and glued a pink velvet bow in that spot instead. I hope you enjoyed today's projects, and I'd love to know which one was your favorite. And if you want even more Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs, here's another video I think you'll like. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. Take care.